welcome to Darvanalee Design Studio. My name's Nicole Reed and today we're going to actually make some cute little bookmarks that are quick and easy and just using our scraps. So let's get started. Okay, so as I said, we're going to make some bookmarks today using our scrap baskets. So get out those scraps that you've got there. You're going to need some foam and you're going to also need maybe some Peltex if you don't have any foam is suitable as well. So dive into that scrap basket, pull out the supplies that you need, and we're going to make our little bookmark. Okay everybody, there's a couple of things that you're going to need today. First of all, dig into that scrap basket that you've got and grab out some 2.5 inch strips. If not, just grab anything that you've got in there that you can cut a 2.5 inch strip off. These measure 2.5 by 8 inches. Then also you'll need some either Peltex or some foam. My favourite is the foam and mine's double-sided fusible and I use it in handbags and stuff like that, purse making and whatnot. You're also going to need a set of pinking shears, a rotary cutter, some thread snips, some coordinating or matching threads. You're going to need for decoration a couple of little ribbons and maybe some little gems, or you could use some buttons, whatever you've got on hand. These are just the things that I've got on hand that were in my scrap bucket. Okay, and you're also going to need a hot glue gun if you are going to add the gems on or anything that doesn't have holes in it for you to sew on. You'll also need a quilting ruler and maybe some spare glue for the hot glue gun. Okay, so the first thing that we have to do before we head over to the sewing machine is we have to, I'm going to work with the foam today as well as the Peltex just to show you the difference. This one is quite flexible and it holds its shape quite well, so when if it gets crushed in your bag or you know you've got it sitting there and it might have got something sat on it and it's curled up, it will just bounce back out again. So I'm going to show you how I do my bookmarks. So the first thing you want to do is take a couple of your 2.5 inch strips by 8 inches and you want to place one with the right sides facing down and the wrong side facing up. Then you want to take your foam or your Peltex, depending what you're using, and place that on the fabric, and then with your second piece, now it doesn't have to be coordinating, I'm just making mine coordinating because that's what I had in my scrap basket. You can have them with different sides on them, it's entirely up to you. They're very customizable and you'll be able to have a lot of fun using the different fabrics. So take your second strip and now place that on top. And using your applique sheet or a piece of parchment paper, entirely up to you, or a brown paper bag, anything that you've got on hand, and you want to get your iron, and I just follow the manufacturer's recommendations for the foam. I have found with this particular one, which is a Bosal foam that I'm using, I had some left over of that. I just use a medium to warm heat on that one, and it will just stick. And this is double-sided fusible, so it makes it nice and easy. And as you can see, it hasn't fused on the other side, so we can just flip that over. Again, this just protects your iron. You don't actually need this, but it'll just protect your iron from any glue or anything that gets on it. Okay, so you can see that has now adhered. Now we're just going to set that aside and let it cool a bit, and we'll grab our second lot of strips. Again, we're going to repeat exactly the same thing. So you're going to place it right sides down, and then you grab your Peltex, which is measuring 2.5 by 8 inches, so it's the same size as your strip, and then you're going to place that on top with the right sides up, and again you're going to get your iron and you're going to give it a quick press. And what happens is the iron is actually heating up the glue that's on the Peltex and the foam, and it's melting and it's sticking to the fabrics. Can use a sew-in one, or you can use a single-sided fusible. It just so happens that these both are double-sided fusible. Making sure everything's lining up and there's no creases. Place that down again. Okay. So you can see there that that's now adhered to it, and here's the one we did earlier and it's cooled down a bit now, and you can see that that's all stuck on there. So what we're going to do now is we're going to head over to the sewing machine, and you need to take your 2 strips with you and also your bits of ribbon. So I'll see you at the sewing machine. Okay, so here we are at the sewing machine. We're going to be using a 1/4 inch seam allowance. So basically what you want to do is you want to just get your little ribbon and you just want to fold it in half, just like so. And then you want to just place it up the top here. So you want to place it just a little bit bigger than, so you can see there, it's just part, like the 1/4 inch seam allowance will just cross straight over that. And when we get to it, we'll actually go back, we'll do a back stitch over that to hold it in place. So I'm just going to get a pin and put that in, and then we'll start sewing. So you can see there that I've just got the pin just in place, and what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to start and finish here, because when our little gem goes on that, that will actually cover up any back stitching or any stitching that you can see just there. So basically what you're going to do, using a 1/4 inch seam allowance, you're going to put your needle down in the down position if you can on your machine. If not, just wind it with the wheel on the side of the machine. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're actually going to stitch 1/4 inch with your needle in the down position, and you're going to stop a 1/4 inch from the edge, and you're going to pivot, and then you're going to continue down the long side. So I just done a back stitch on that, and I'm going to keep going until I'm about 1/4 inch away from the edge of the bookmark. Now, some people might be wondering what stitch length that I've got mine on. I'm actually stitching with mine on a 2.5, and I've just looked at that, and that's actually a good stitch length. I'm happy with that stitch length. If you find that your stitches are looking a little bit wonky, because we are essentially top stitching right now, you can always elongate your stitch to about a 2.8 or even a 3, and you'll find that it'll just go nice and straight, and you'll get a very defined stitch on your top stitching. You can also use embroidery thread for this, like machine embroidery thread. You can get some beautiful variegated threads, and you can just mix it up a bit, and you don't have to do a straight stitch. You can actually do a decorative stitch. So mess around with your machine a little bit and have a little bit of fun with all the different stitches, but for today's demonstration, I'm just going to do a straight stitch. So again, when we come down to the end, we just want to stop about 1/4 inch away. Just eyeball it. It doesn't have to be 100% precise, just as long as it looks even all the way around. And now just to the final bit, and again, make sure that you back stitch when you get to where you've started. Lift your needle up and pull it out of your machine. Get your thread snips. Get rid of any of your threads that are in the way. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to use our pinking shears, and we're going to trim all the way around our bookmark, and we're going to do that close to the stitching but not on the stitching. So I'm going to continue doing that, and I'll show you what it looks like when I'm finished. When you get to the top where the ribbon is, just move the ribbon out of the way, pull it down, okay, and then you'll have that edge the same as everywhere else. Continue all the way around. So there you go, you can see it's all pinked all the way around, and we can put our little gem on the top there where the ribbon is, or you can leave it as it is, or you could put a little button there. You can put whatever decoration you like there. So I'll show you one more time with the other piece that I've got using the Peltex, and I'll be back in just a moment. So there you go, we have our two little bookmarks. Now we're going to head over to the cutting mat and the glue gun, and we're going to put our decoration on. Okay, so that's our bookmarks. They're pretty much done now. It's now just time to actually just decorate them a little bit. So as I showed you earlier, I've got a little packet of gemstones here which I've opened up, and I'm going to grab a couple out, and I'm just waiting for the hot glue gun to heat up. So I've got a silver one for the red one because I think that'll look really nice on there, so you can see what it's going to look like. And you can use anything. You can use buttons, you can use sequence, sew on sequence. You can use anything that you really want to use, okay? So that's entirely up to you. It's up to your discretion. I just had these on hand, so that's what I'm using today. And I think that little salmon sort of colour one goes quite well with this one. And because these are going to be probably Mother's Day gifts or something along those lines, I used the heart fabric today just to make it that little bit more cuter. Okay, so just a couple of different things I want to point out to you, and you probably can't see this on camera, or you might be able to. We'll have a look. So you can see there I've got one made with Peltex and one made with foam. Now the foam one is a little bit thicker, it's a little bit softer, it's flexible, just as the Peltex one is as well. This one will just always bounce back. This one could possibly get a few little creases in it, although I do use Peltex with my wallets and stuff like that, and I haven't had any issues. But yes, you can see that this is a little bit thinner than what the foam is. Okay, it's only a millimetre or two difference. Alrighty, so now we'll stick on, we've pinked all the way around the edge, and now we'll stick on our embellishments. So what I do to protect my cutting mat is I just get a little piece of template plastic, just a scrap piece, and I just have it, my glue gun near there, and I also place the item that I'm going to be gluing on top of that as well, because I don't want it to get onto my cutting mat. So we'll just squeeze a little bit out, and hopefully it's hot and ready to go. Feels like it is. Okay, so this is one way you can do it. You could just pop it on there, and then you just get your little gemstone or button or whatever you're going to put on there, and you just hold it in place for a couple of seconds, and that until it just cools down, and there you go. That one's done. Or another way you can do it, which I always tend to get it everywhere when I do it this way, so we'll see how we go today. I just put a little dollop on the back, just like so. So far so good, I haven't got it everywhere. And then I just push that down. Whichever way you find easiest to use your glue gun, just do that. Okay. And now we can remove that little piece of template plastic and sit our glue gun down on top of that again, and that way it won't drip. But that's it. You can have the ribbon really long if you want, a little bit longer, or that length, or even a little bit shorter. But that's it. They are our bookmarks. A quick and easy Mother's Day gift for someone special, or anyone for that matter. You could give it to them with a sewing book, or just as it is. Okay everybody, thank you very much for joining me today. I really hope you liked our quick little tutorial today on our cute little bookmarks. I can't wait to see some of them popping up over in our Facebook group, which is linked out down below. If you haven't joined yet, hit that link and it'll scoot you on over, and you can join a very active and social group over there. We have lots of different activities happening all the time. As always, I love to hear what you've got to say about our video, and or if you've got any suggestions, please leave a comment below and we'll be happy to take them on board. And please subscribe to our channel and hit the little bell icon beside it, and that way you won't miss out on any future posts. My name's Nicole Reid for Darvanalee Design Studio. Thank you very much for joining me today, and I'll see you all again next time. Bye for now.